Hello, everyone, and welcome to what I think is episode 6 of the Coffee and Ketchup podcast. I am your main host for today, Evangelina Skov, or Zan, whatever you want to call me. You said you were number 1 last time, Megan. That's why I'm the main host this time.
I'm your offended host, Megan, who's going out on a solo career now because she's been dissed by her co-host.
You can't leave me like this. We are friends. You must love me and respect me and listen to my crap all the time, no matter what I say. That's how friendship works. I'm an asshole and you put up with it. Clearly.
Fine, whatever.
Anyway, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about 2020 ending and 2021 starting, obviously, because it's the new year. And we were actually almost going to not talk about New Year's for this episode, and we realized that was dumb.
Yeah, I think we kind of forgot when this was coming up. I also forgot the other one was like the last one before Christmas.
Yeah, me too. That's fine. Christmas and TV shows, because I did watch Ed and Eddie on Christmas morning, so it kind of worked.
Yeah, and like after that episode, I just kept coming across a bunch of TV shows that I watched as a kid that we hadn't discussed. And I was like, why? Because literally before that episode, I could not remember a single TV show until you were like mentioning them. And then I was like, oh yeah. But like, then I just started coming across all the TV shows I watched as a child. And I was like, I think it's because it was around Christmas and everyone was getting nostalgic for old like TV shows.
Yeah, no, that happened to me as well. I saw a load of ones I used to watch that were like my favorites, and I hadn't even mentioned them in the episode. I was like, what is wrong with me? Why am I like this? But before we talk about today's topic somewhat, because we'll probably go on tangents, today a firework just went off outside my apartment.
I thought you hit your mic again.
No, it was a firework. Getting ready for New Year's. People do it off their balconies because they're very clever. Yeah, I live in the Balkans.
That sounds like how to burn down an apartment in 2 seconds flat.
Yeah, I haven't seen one catch on fire yet, so we'll see this year, knock on wood. Anyway, instead of coffee today, because I'm blasphemous and it's a festive episode, mostly because it's late and I didn't want to drink coffee because I haven't been sleeping very well, I'm having a beer. This is a dark beer. It's gluten-free from a brand called Celia. It's Czech. So there you go.
My second home country, even though I only lived there for 10 months, but it's my second home country.
That's a long time. It was your first time living alone as well. It's always going to have a special place for you. Megan, what are you drinking today? Do you have anything?
I'm drinking the same coffee drink I had, not the same one, but the same recipe I had last week, but it's hella cold now. So I'm not actually drinking it. It's just sitting here.
So Megan has a prop coffee and I have beer for the episode of Coffee and Ketchup.
I'm probably going to accidentally drink this.
That's okay.
I just went to drink. I'm drinking it.
Just drink. I believe in you. You can do it.
Slightly warm.
Oh.
It's room temperature, which considering my room is freezing, it's like normal room temperature and my room is below freezing. So it's still technically warm.
I would call this a success for sure. This is definitely a win. Well, should we get started talking about the shit show that was 2020?
Oh, yeah.
How was your year, Megan? How did you deal with the pandemic? Or, should we go back? Should we go pre-pandemic? Should we talk about before we knew what was coming?
Pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
Yep.
How was that for you?
I was in college, so it was great because I love education. Because I am a masochist, apparently. But,
same, but a different kind.
No, I mean, I was enjoying my final year. I had more friends in college than I had ever had before. I constantly had someone to hang out with. I was staying late just to hang out with people. I was getting a lot of study done because all my friends were in science and therefore studied a lot, unlike all the art students who are slackers. Saying that as an art student. But, it was going great. It was a fun time. We were looking forward to balls and events. And,
like the dance balls, not like dance ball. Where you were going with that.
Because, so for anybody who didn't know, I was on the committee for the Harry Potter Society at my college. We do not stand J.K. Rowling in this house, but we do still stand Harry Potter. But, so we have, in November every year, we have Yule Ball. But then we were kind of saying it's kind of unfair for a lot of the international students because they're only there for a semester. So we have our Yule Ball November, which is first semester, so that's fine for all of them. And then we have a London trip in January, but you have to have booked that in the previous semester. So we were like, oh, it'd be a nice idea if we could have like a second ball, maybe a lot smaller in the second semester for all the international students who only just got to the thing. So we were setting up our spring soiree, and it was sponsored by Domino's. So the whole thing was Domino's catered, and it was going to be in school. So like it was just going to be in a big hall in the college. It was, you know, a lot like the other ones in this big fancy hotel. It's properly catered and it's got a bar and everything. But this was just kind of like our smaller, cheaper version. It was literally going to cost us like nothing, and the tickets were going to be like dirt cheap, but it was just going to be fun. And then that got cancelled because coronavirus. We had like during our last committee Zoom meeting, we all wore flower crowns because that was our idea for spring soiree. We were all going to wear flower crowns, so we just wore them in a Zoom meeting instead. Did not have the same effect. It was very depressing.
I mean, like, okay, so here's the thing, right? The start of, well, everything, start of the year, pre-pandemic, is all a blur for me. And the thing is, because this is when I was still planning to work as a web developer, and I was finishing off that course. I was trying to say coding course, and it became a course. The course I was doing. But that was all remote. That was fully online. So I was already doing the Zoom stuff. And like, so I was kind of used to it. And then when everything happened, you know, like at the start, we were like, oh, this will be over soon. So I was just kind of like, whatever. But I did finish that. So I finished my online course, which had always been online, just after the pandemic started because I got a new job, which was not supposed to be online, but ended up being online. But I was so used to it anyway. So I was all like, this is fine. I think it took a while for me to realize that everything was like weird because I was already in that kind of, I'm at home all the time stage. And I don't particularly like socializing. I'm not good at it. And it stresses me out. So
Fair. It stresses me out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird for me because we were on midterm break when everything happened, and my friends had come to the town I live in to do this mountain walk we've got between our town and the next town over. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd come to do that, and I'd taken my dog out with me. There were like 8 of us who were doing this like little hill walk, and then we came to the next town over. We all had lunch together. The start of the hill walk, it's like takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours because we were kind of messing around a bit. So at the start of the walk, we got an email from school. We were already in the second week of a 2-week break, and we got an email from school saying you're getting an extra week off because this COVID thing looks like it's getting, you know, kind of big in colleges. So we're going to give you an extra week off just to see how things are going. So we were like, oh, okay, another week off. Grand. 2 hours later, by the time we made it to the next town over, we got an email being like, yeah, everything's canceled. You're not coming back to school at all. We were like, 2 hours. Why bother sending the first email?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, so that's just kind of, I mean, everything this year was just like, I mean, I don't want to sound like I know better than everybody because obviously I don't, but like with hindsight, nobody was prepared, nobody knew what to do, nobody took it seriously enough, you know, like anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, because we got that email, and our plan had been to go back to the university because one of my friends lives on campus, and we were all gonna like have drinks and hang out in her dorm, and we did that. We got an email saying college is cancelled because the pandemic has reached our country and it's pretty high in universities. Everything's moving online, and we were like, let's go to the university and party in the dorms. I mean, granted, it was midterm break, so there was barely anyone there. But still, I'm one of those people now who's like, I'm wearing a mask all the time. I'm like washing my hands. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm studying in another country, I wouldn't be traveling at all. But I literally have to travel for that. But I'm going to be like quarantining. I've basically been quarantining for 2 weeks here, and I'm going to be quarantining for 2 weeks once I get there. You know, like I've been listening to all the guidelines. I've been complaining that the government isn't doing enough. And yet when it first happened, I was like, Yeah, no, we can still party. It's fine. But it was only that one night, and then I was in the house because my dad is immunosuppressed. So like I was in the house for maybe like a month or two without having left at all, except maybe to go do the groceries. That was it. Whereas my mom had work and my brother was going out to see his friends still, because like we were allowed to do that based on our like lockdown. No one was like breaking lockdown or anything. But just like I just happened, because all my friends had moved back home because college was cancelled. I just happened to like be in the house for 2 months solid, only ever going out for groceries. And I think that's when it like I kept saying everything's fine, because I'm used to hanging out in my room, like watching TV on my laptop. I was just like that's what I would do during summer or anything. But for me, it's been like 9 months of that now. And I'm like, I need to get out of here. If they cancel college again, I'm killing a bitch. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like, I was the same at the start, though. Like, I didn't really think it was a big deal because I remember at the start thinking, like, it's fine. Like, it's just like the flu. It's just like swine flu. And if I get it, I'll be fine or whatever. Like, it didn't really know how big of a deal it was. And when everything just started, I went to the next town where my grandparents live in Stip. It's a different town, 2 hour bus away. Well, hour and a half, really. But I went there to see them, stayed a few nights, went home. Like, I haven't been to see them since then because, I realized how bad everything was. I was still going to therapy without a mask, just like walking in, okay, because nobody was really wearing masks at that stage either.
Yeah.
This is back in March. Like, as soon as kind of April hit,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, wait, this is actually a thing. Like, this is bad.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It wasn't like we were like breaking quarantine rules. It was like there weren't rules about these things. Yes, they'd cancel college, but no one said you couldn't meet up in groups. I mean, maybe it was like big events had to be canceled, but like 8 of us hanging out in a dorm room was fine. There was no problem with that. And like literally like right after that though, I was like indoors for 2 months just out of coincidence. Like I could have been out with friends and stuff, it's just none of my friends are in town anymore.
Yeah. No, the thing is as well, like, I don't know, because it's so weird because I feel like everybody has had such a different experience and it's all based on like how seriously they took it, how much information they got about this, what the restrictions were where they are, because all the restrictions where you are completely different to what happened where I was. Like we got locked down pretty early, like preemptively. Like I think over in Ireland they kind of waited till cases started rising, whereas here our Minister for Health is a neurosurgeon, so he's actually a doctor. So he was like, hey, we're locking this down now. And everyone's like, angry, but it was a good thing. And then we didn't have a lot of cases at the beginning, but then the general elections were coming up. So they're like, hey, no more lockdown, vote for us. And then everybody started getting sick and everything started rising. And it was not good. And this is actually one thing I wanted to talk about as well. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this. When was it you came to visit me last year or the year before?
The year before.
Okay, well, it was like May-ish when you came, and we hadn't seen each other in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, something, 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember you specifically saying to me something about to do with my like germ fears and my cleaning everything and being really weird about touching stuff. I remember you saying something like, you didn't used to be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like over the last few years, my OCD tendencies have like really, really grown. And the pandemic has gotten them to a stage where I just can't manage them anymore. Like, I was already pre-pandemic, I was already like, it was getting a bit overboard, like a lot, and intrusive thoughts to do with things and stuff like that, and having to clean my hands like 4 times after I touch something, or having to like not touch door handles ever, like can't even look at a door handle. But that bit was a joke. I can look at door handles, they don't bite. But now, because of the pandemic and everything, once I started to take it seriously, I took it really seriously. Like it took, I don't know, a month, 2 months from realizing it was a problem to being able to get a takeaway, because I was like, how is a takeaway safe? Somebody has made that food. How do I know they don't have COVID? And then when I did finally do it, I was terrified.
Sure, my mom was the same, because like my dad's the one that's sick, but well, not sick, but like is immunocompromised. But my mom's the one who was freaking out about it. Like it was a while before we had takeaway. I think I was like on a Twitch live stream, and you were there, and I mentioned we were getting takeaway. You were like, "Oh, we haven't got takeaway in ages." And I was like, "Dude, this is the first time we're getting takeaway in months. It's the first time my mother has trusted another human being outside of our household to prepare food for us." But like now it's fine because I don't know, she's kind of relaxed a bit. But like, yeah, it was kind of scary because we were hyper vigilant more than I think other people were because of my dad. Like now I think it doesn't scare us as much, which is stupid because it should.
Mhm.
But I think it's just because dad hasn't gotten sick that we were like, I mean, he doesn't go out much anyway because he works at home, and my mom works right next to the grocery store, so she usually like picks up groceries on the way home, so there's kind of no reason for my dad to be going out a lot. But like at the beginning it was like, your dad can't do anything, don't let him do anything, we can't get takeaway, what about your dad? But then like the takeaway thing's fine, and he doesn't go out for the other stuff anyway, so like we're not as crazy about it. But yeah, at the beginning my mom was a little like, your father can't do anything, put him in bubble wrap.
Yeah, I mean, like with the takeaway stuff specifically, I've calmed down with that, but I have my own like procedure depending on where we're getting takeaway from. So the standard is like, okay, so you'll get something in, it'll be in like a box, right? So I will have to clean the box with antibacterial wipes first, and wash my hands after getting it, clean it with antibacterial wipes, put it down, wash my hands again, bring the box, open it, and then wash my hands again, and then make sure I don't touch the box at any stage. I can only touch the inside. So there are some places where like, so there's one place, Sushiko, and usually when we get stuff from there, we'll put them in bowls because that's like fancier takeaway, like they're a nicer place. So I'll still wash my hands, clean everything with anti-bac wipes, and put it in a bowl, but I have to get the bowl while my hands are clean. So I'll pour it into the bowl, make sure I throw everything away, wash my hands again. So it's like a whole thing. My hands are so dry. Please send me hand cream.
Is your food not cold by the time you eat it as well?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Better cold food than
We
COVID.
don't do that. We don't do that. We just make the takeaway people like stand at the end of the drive.
Yeah, but see, I don't, because I know somebody's touched the box at some point. So I don't trust it. I'm going to keep talking because you look confused and like somebody's talking to you. So I'm going to entertain the crowd. You don't need to listen to me. Megan is currently confused.
No, I thought someone was yelling at me, but I've got my headphones on, so I can't hear properly. But they didn't respond when I yelled back. So I'm going to presume, no, they were not talking to me.
Okay. I don't know if you do this as well. So when I get stuff from the supermarket, I will. So obviously you have bags when you go to the supermarket. I put the bags on the floor. I go and I wash my hands. Then I come out and I clean every item individually with antibacterial wipes and I put it away. Then I Then I wash my hands. Then I change my clothes because my clothes are dirty because I've been outside. And then I clean all the door handles and cupboard things and fridge door with antibacterial wipes, and then I wash my hands again.
No, we do not do that.
Okay, and then
I don't think we've ever washed the
stuff.
groceries. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
a
like
thing.
something we should have been doing.
I mean, apparently they said, my sister told me this, so I don't know if it's true. She just, this is like secondhand information. She said that somebody on the radio had said, some health expert, that it's the chances of actually getting COVID from stuff from the supermarket is so like negligible. Is that the word?
Yeah.
That it's like not even worth it, but I still have to do it. But I still can't touch any of the items for at least 24 hours. It used to be until the next day, and then it became 24 hours, and now it's like a whole day plus the extra day. So like say we get the stuff at like 4:00 in the afternoon, can't touch it for the rest of the day or the entire next day. So it just keeps growing in size.
Your food's gonna go off before you can touch it at some point.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like 2 weeks till symptoms show up on the food. Can't touch it.
Yes, basically. I mean, there's some things, where they're like in a box, you can kind of open the box and just pour it out, like if it's like a Toblerone, because we talked about Toblerone last time, like it's in a tinfoil in the box. You just open the box and pour out the tinfoil, but do not touch the tinfoil with your dirty hands. You got to clean them first.
I mean, no, I get it. Like, it is scary, especially like, obviously the longer you're in it, the more like the fear of it is building, not dissipating for some people.
Yeah, I
Some
just
people are
don't.
just like,
I don't know how
yeah,
I'm gonna go back to normal. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna start coping again because I know the way I am with my all my weirdnesses. Once I get them, they're really hard to let go. They tend to just get worse and worse and worse. Like the example I always use is I used to love flying, and then one day I got a little bit scared, and then it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and now I'm absolutely terrified. Like I will avoid getting on a plane as much as I possibly can because I might be moving back to Ireland. We had talked about driving across Europe and taking a ferry from France to Ireland. This is also practical because then we can take all our stuff and the cats.
yeah. I was about to say, well, yeah, but you'd be moving a whole and your pets, like you'd be moving a whole life over. You're not just like flying over for a weekend or something.
Yeah,
So that
but
does make sense, but it's still like a long journey.
yeah, but I would like much rather at any point, like we were saying, well, when if pandemic is over and we live in Ireland, like we could go for a holiday somewhere when everything's back to normal completely. And I was like, oh, we could go to France because we can take the ferry. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but just keep in mind, if you go to France on the ferry, you have to sleep on the ferry, and that, my friend, is a pain in the arse because the Wi-Fi never works
you know what? I'll
on a
take
ferry.
it. I'd
I hate
rather
it.
it. There's no Wi-Fi on the planes. I mean, there is in some planes, but like they're like fancy ones or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's enough about me being crazy. Let's talk. I
Save
mean,
that for the Patreon podcast.
yes, exactly. I mean, the thing is, like, the other thing with all this pandemic stuff, besides mental health wise, is that both of us and everybody else had so many plans that just couldn't happen. Like, you were supposed to be in doing your master's by now.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be like applying for PhDs at this point. Instead, I'm just looking at them like, my precious, you
Mm.
could have been mine.
Yeah, you said
It's
you
kind of
saw
sad.
some like really interesting PhD that starts in September. Was it September? So you
Yep.
can't do it.
Yeah, I'm upset.
What was it again? I know it was something about women bones,
It's
lady bones.
Lady Bones. It's from the Department of Classics. So it's looking at a woman's remains that were found in a like a Roman British temple, and so it's looking at her bones and kind of like analyzing like where she came from, why she was interred in the temple, why she was interred like in this spot, and like because I think they were saying like the bones are older or like newer than they originally thought they were, because they originally thought that like the bones were put in when they were building the temple, but now they're like they think that they're actually put in afterwards. But it's really interesting because it's a multidisciplinary thing, so it's through the like school of classics because it's a Roman British temple, and like certain like Roman rituals and stuff, burial rituals have like taken place, but then it's also like osteoarchaeology because they need people to analyze the bones, and it's also a little bit of gender study because there was a man found buried in the temple as well, and his bones are on display in a museum, whereas her bones are in a box in storage. So it's like, why would the man, because they were both originally in the museum and they took her out. So there's also like raising questions of like why the man's bones are more important than the women's bones. And like, it's just like this huge, like, not only is it like classics and archaeology, which are like my two things, and bones, which is like my master's thing, but it's also like just, I like the idea of all these different departments coming together to work on this thing. It just sounds so interesting. And I'm like, I'm going to be like 3 months, not 3 months, I'm going to be like 6 months short of being able to do it,
It's so
which is
shit.
annoying.
Fuck you, COVID. Why would you do this? I mean, I don't. The thing is, personally, I didn't have too many plans. I mean, I thought we would be in Ireland by now, and that didn't happen. The other thing was like, it was just more in my case, it was like, oh, we wanted to travel a lot this year because we did a fair bit of traveling last year, and that just didn't really happen. But I was saying this because I recorded a video for my channel, sort of talking about a personal recap of 2020, kind of a quicker thing. And I was saying, like, I have been one of the really lucky people where, like, I haven't gotten a lot of the bad effects of the pandemic. Like, the worst of it was, OCD symptoms cropping up and haven't been able to go out, haven't seen anybody in months. Like, that's it. But I've also, like, had time to work on YouTube stuff and work on my own stuff. And I was lucky in that I already was used to working online. So
Yeah.
then when everything had to be online, I was already like, this is fine. And like now I'm doing college and I wouldn't have been able to do that because I'm not in Ireland. But since it's
Yeah.
online, I'm fine. So I was very privileged basically this year. And I'm very happy for that. I do wish we could have gone to Japan next year though, as was our.
I know. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to afford it, but it's nice to have dreams.
Let's blame COVID.
Yeah, it's easy. Let's easily blame COVID for us
Maybe we
not
can
going
go
to
when you
Japan.
finish your master's.
I won't have any money, but yes.
When you finish your PhD, when you finished your PhD and I finished at least my bachelor's, we're gonna go to Japan to celebrate. We deserve it.
Japan. Woo. Yes.
You'll just be there like, I've got a PhD now, I'm a doctor, and be like, I did my undergraduate. Yay!
Hey, everyone moves at different paces, okay?
Yes.
We discussed this in our education podcast.
Check it out if you haven't watched it already, guys.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of weird because when I think about it, like I finished school basically that midterm break, which was March. I haven't been in school since March. And I was working for like 4 months as a waitress in middle there. But like the restaurant was so dead, I basically wasn't working as a waitress. I was standing at a restaurant for 4 hours every day. But like, you know, I don't even like, I kind of forget that I did that. Do you know what I mean? Like when I think of my year, I'm like, I finished school in March and I haven't done anything since. Because for me, like school is what I do. Do you know what I mean? Like education is kind of my thing. Like I haven't had a permanent full-time job or a part-time job. I don't have, like, I'm not permanently on my YouTube channel working on it. I don't have anything else. Like for me, school is my like permanent thing. I haven't done that since March, and I keep forgetting that I had a job at one point.
I mean, we all want to forget our jobs, so like.
That's true. I just found out though, not just found out, but I was supposed to I'm on the COVID payment because I was employed and now I'm not employed. So the state, if anybody doesn't know, the state gives me money for COVID. But I haven't gotten it this week. And I'm like, I mean, I don't care. I'm not reliant on that money. I don't need it. I'm living at home with my family at the moment. But I'm like, if I was relying on that money, hello, it's like 2 days late.
Did everybody not get it or just you?
I don't know. My brother didn't because he's on it as well. But I don't know if it's just us. I put it up on Twitter to find out because I tried Googling it and there was no like, oh, delay to payment. Like I got double last week for Christmas, but they didn't say that double is like this week plus next week. Because they were saying, oh, everyone's going to get a Christmas bonus. But they never said, like, that Christmas bonus is going to be deducted from the next week. I don't know if that's what's happening or what. But I'm a little like, hello, what?
Very confusing. That's weird. I'll retweet that for you, although I think most of my Twitter followers are in America. But I think I have a couple Irish people.
It's just like, for me, it's not like a huge issue. I'm just saving this money for, like, when I'm in college. Because I won't be able to get it once I move out of Ireland. But like for other people, I could think that that's like a huge issue.
Yeah,
you just like random because they don't send you emails about anything. Like the only reason I heard that we were getting a Christmas bonus is from the radio. It's not like they sent out an email being like, you'll be getting double next week because it's Christmas. So now I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
The Irish government are so useless.
Oh my God, someone had a Twitter thread up of like every scandal from the Irish government this year. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that one. Oh, I hadn't heard of that one. Oh, I forgot about that one. Did you hear Fianna Fáil members were judging women in Zoom chats, like ranking them during Zoom conversations? They'd go onto their Instagrams, to these women's Instagrams and rank them. I love my government. It hates women.
Parliament members were doing that?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
They also apparently lost evidence in against a Fianna Fáil who was suspected of rape.
Oh my God.
They found it again. They found the evidence again, but it went missing for a while. And I'm like, that seems like an issue for like chain of evidence or something. I don't know, but that seems like an issue.
Oh, boże. That's... things are shit everywhere, I suppose.
My government.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to move to New Zealand or I'm going to move to Asia when all of this is over. And I'm like, yes, because they had a handle on shit.
Yeah, no, we actually, me and the girlfriend, won't say her name on podcast, we were like talking about once everything is just like, let's just move to New Zealand. We're not going to, we can't. But we were talking about it like, oh my God, it'd be so nice. Just, first of all, we'd just be far away from everybody's bullshit. And secondly, it's like they had everything together. They have so much together. I'm sure they have issues there too, but they just deal with stuff. It's just like the year of dealing with stuff. Do you remember that
Yeah, and
meme
like
of
all the Asian countries had COVID for like a week and then it was fine. I
yeah,
mean, I know it was longer than that, but you know what I mean? Like they had it like the minimal amount of time out of
yeah.
everyone.
I mean, I do
What were
plan
you saying about the
on.
meme?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying the meme of Kylie Jenner. I don't know which year it was, but she was like, "It's just the year of like realizing things." I don't know. She confuses me. I'm not going to go on a rant about the Kardashian Jenners, but it's just Kylie in particular just seems so void of a personality. But the thing is, she's one of those people who doesn't have a personality, but really thinks that she does. But her whole idea of I have a personality is saying people don't really know the real me, but she doesn't seem to have a real her.
She doesn't elaborate on that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And also, I get confused because she's a month younger than me.
And she's got a kid.
She's got a kid and
I'm
she's
not
a
prepared.
billionaire.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was
Yeah, I
gonna
see
say.
when I compare myself to like Kylie Jenner and like those YouTube like famous, like highly famous people, I'm like, I'm not doing great for my early 20s, am I? But at the same time, I'm like, most people my age are in college still. Like, they're on the same level as me. So why am
Yeah.
I judging myself on like the 0.01% of rich kids in America?
Because they're just the ones we see. But also, there's people who are like younger than us, or even older than us. What am I saying? Not younger, older than us, who are still idiots. Like people going to COVID parties and they're like, I don't know, our age, 25 or something, over the summer and everything. It's like, what are you doing? You absolute weirdos. You frozen? Megan has frozen everybody, so I'm going to keep talking. Okay, she's back.
There you had like glitched out for me for a while, so I was like,
Ah,
dang.
well, you glitched for me, so hopefully Zoom kept recording me because I just kept talking. Because I could see you
Yeah,
were
that's what
frozen.
I'm
I was like,
hoping.
blah, 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 blah. It's
Yeah,
fine.
because usually, like, sometimes you like glitch in and out, and like it'll usually like fix itself before you finish a sentence. So as long as I nod and smile, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, the other thing I was gonna
yeah,
say is I do definitely want to move to Japan at some point for a while. I don't think I could live there permanently, and also I have the issue of I can't move there until I have a degree because you can't get a work visa for Japan unless you have at least an undergraduate. So, but I do want to live there for a while. That's the plan.
yeah. Japan's so cool. I definitely want to go there for like a really long like vacation. You know, like a month at least, because it's one of those places that like it's so difficult to get to from Ireland that if you go you want to be able to like see everything in the one trip. You don't want to like compromise on things because like
Hmm.
you might never get the chance to go back. I used to think I want to live there, but now I'm like, I don't know if I don't want to live there. I think just because like I don't know why, but my brain's just like, I don't want to live there anymore.
Well, I
But
think
I would
like
like to go there for a while.
I guess because it's like really far away, and then also it's like completely different culture and everything. But I think for me, it's like I do want to live in different places as much as I can, like
Yeah.
for short periods of time. I want to move around a lot before I eventually settle down or whatever. I'm not saying
Oh,
have a
yeah, no.
family and stuff, but you know what I mean. Like,
I'm the same. Like, I want to, I think especially, like, I've always wanted to move around. That's one of the reasons why I chose archaeology in college, because I was like, I get to move around a lot with that job. Not accurate, but, like, that's one of the reasons as well that I went on Erasmus and, like, did all this stuff so I could live abroad for a while with, like, while still having the kind of, like, backing of, like, a university behind me to kind of, like, protect me if,
mhm.
it didn't work out or whatever. I wasn't just like alone in a foreign country. But I think especially this year, I've been a lot more like, I don't know if it's because of like just everything, all the horrific things that have happened this year in Ireland. like, with the government and everything, that I'm like, I don't know that I want to live here forever. I used to say like, oh, I'll move out and then like move back when I'm ready to settle down. But now I'm like, I don't know that I want to settle down here anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would want to settle down in Ireland either. Like it's not a shitty country or anything. Like there's a lot of good stuff there, but I don't know. Like
Yeah.
originally we had even planned we wanted to move to the Netherlands. Like we wanted to live in Amsterdam and we were going to settle
I
there.
remember that.
But there are so many other places where it would be so cool to live. Like I guess it all depends. Like we're still both of us very young, so we see what happens. I don't know. We just see. It's just like the year of realizing things. I don't know.
I know one thing for sure. I don't want to settle in America.
I would live in America for a while, I think. I would live there
I
for a
wouldn't
while.
settle there though.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't settle there because I did like it when I was in America. I would like to be there for a while. But I definitely wouldn't, like, if I chose to have a family as a boy, I would not raise a family in America. No offense, America.
A big offense, America. Get your shit together.
You don't deserve my unborn children, America.
Listen, it's not the people's fault. It's the system's fault. So, no offense, Americans, but offense, America.
That's a good
big
point.
offense.
Yeah,
yes. On that note, should we talk about what we want to do in 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
2021.
Should we start with our realistic goals or our ridiculous goals? Let's start with our realistic goals if everything continues the way it's going. You can go.
Actually getting to the UK and getting back into school. Because it's like 8 days away at this point, and it still seems like at any point someone's going to be like, psych, not happening.
It could, so, like, that's the thing.
Stop down. I can't. I need, but because especially like all this like new strain of COVID, but I'm hoping because it's already in Ireland that it's not going to be a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like we both already got it. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping they'll be chill about me going. The university hasn't said anything, and I think it is a little late for them to be saying not to come, because they were telling everyone in the EU if you wanted to come without a visa, you had to be leaving like today, because from Friday onwards you have to have a visa to get into the US. So like a lot of the international students have probably already like left to go to the university, so they can hardly like be like university's not on anymore. They might, because so the whole reason that the master's students I think were delayed going until January is that we've got a blended learning, which means like partially online but partially in person, because a lot of our work has to be done in like labs and stuff. We just can't do it online. So like they might maybe lower the in-person stuff a bit more than it used to be, but I don't know. I want to get into college. This is literally my only goal for 2021 is to get back into school, because I'm dying. I thought I'd be fine with just like having nothing to do for months on end, because it's grand during the summer, but at least during the summer you've got something to look forward to. And my something to look forward to just kept getting further and further away.
Oh. Well, do you have any like New Year's resolutions, or is it just go to college? Try not to die on the podcast, please.
Oh my god. I've lost my voice for some reason. I know for a fact that I'm going to be really lazy studying, because I usually am at the start of a semester. Like I won't bother reading like the designated reading. I usually type up my notes on a laptop because of my dyslexia. Like I can't handwrite notes when I'm in a class. But then I'm supposed to, I tell myself that I have to write the notes out by hand when I get home, because I can't read them off a laptop screen either because of my dyslexia. Like I don't take in information I read off the screen. But I never do that. I end up trying to write it all out like a week before an exam. So I usually like that anyway, but the fact that I haven't been in school for 9 months, I think it's going to be worse. So my New Year's resolution is to just like try and get back into like a good study routine, not even like a hardcore study routine, even if it's just writing out my lecture notes or something like that, just into some kind of like study routine when I get home. I've got a gym in my building, and as long as I'm allowed to use it, I want to go to the gym at least once a week, like, because I know myself, and I know if I say at least once a week, and I do that once a week, that I will then add to it. Whereas if I stay at least 3 times a week, I'm not going to do it because that's like just too much. So I set myself really low goals, and as long as I accomplish those, I'll like end up working on them. So like just doing a little bit of study, a little bit of gym, and like uploading a YouTube video once a week, because I said I was going to do that, and I need to do that.
I believe in you.
Those are my goals.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Stay strong.
The thing is, like, I keep coming up with new resolutions, and I don't know what's a resolution and what's just like a project that I had already planned. You know what I mean? Like, I think resolutions-wise, I want to read more, because I don't read enough at all. Like, I used to read all the time, and I just don't read anymore. And for somebody who claims to be a writer, I should be reading more.
I feel like actually they say that when writers like actually start writing, they end up reading a lot less, just because like it's a byproduct of writing. And then also I think they were I think I read somewhere that writers get afraid that they're gonna like accidentally plagiarize things if they read a lot, because you forget what if you read something. It's kind of the same with music. Like, you forget if you just heard something, or if you forget if something is an earwig because you heard it somewhere, or because you came up with it and it's stuck in your brain.
Yes. But like, I don't know. I just want to read more anyway. I started a new book anyway. My mum sent me a book for Christmas, so I'm going to read that too. I think it was a little bit of a dig at me, because it was called something like, okay, we'll do your stupid idea. And it's just this this guy, the writer, he's just talking about all these stupid things he's tried in his life. The blurb, I haven't started it yet, but the blurb said something like, when he was 5, he led a horse out of the field just to see what would happen. And now I really want to know what happened. So yeah, but like I don't know, like, I guess these are more projects than resolutions, because they're things that I was doing anyway. Like, I finished my lo-fi album, but I want to put that out next month. And then I plan on like putting out my poetry book finally, that I've been talking about for the last like 300 years. And I also have decided, and this is a big thing. So I've put out like 2 songs. I don't know if you've even heard them, but I've put out 2 songs. And I want to completely change the style of music that I do. Like, I want to make it a bit more, not pop, but like a little bit more poppy, kind of more trap even, maybe. Like, I need to experiment with it, but I want to make it a bit more modern and less experimental, if that makes sense. I think that's what I mean. I was talking to myself for the last 10 minutes because Megan was just gone.
Sorry, it like completely like deleted Zoom for some reason. I was like, what? Not bad. I literally didn't click anything. It was my fault.
Okay, I just kept talking anyway. I was saying that I want to change the style of music that I do to be more like modern and accessible, rather than a little bit experimental and edgy. So I want to make a diss track.
I saw that on Twitter.
You did. I want it to come out like in 2 days. You know what I'm like. I get it in my head. I'm like, I have to do it while I'm still hypomanic.
Oh, I did that without my last YouTube video that came up. I did that at like 2 a.m. because I was scrolling through my phone and I realized I still had all the video clips from like a year and a half ago when I was in Burnout. And I was like, let's make a vlog. I went on like an hour-long mania trip just editing a vlog and uploading it at 2 a.m.
I did not get a notification for that. What is with you? No, this is the second time. The last video you did, I didn't get a notification for that. This one I didn't get a notification for. That I don't know if you know that YouTube channel Cringy. She uploaded a video. I have notifications turned on for her. Didn't get a notification for that. Do you know who I do get notifications for? Dissociated. did. But not for my friends.
That's the thing, though. I feel like every time I actually intentionally hit turn on notifications, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I get notifications for a YouTube channel I follow that just re-uploads trailers for CW shows. I did not sign up for notifications, sir.
In fairness, in all honesty, I did turn on notifications for them because, like, they're a big part of my job. So I
Yeah, like
kind of
you have
need
to
them.
know when they upload a video. You can't
Yeah,
just like be scrolling through your subs and find it there.
yeah. Like if they
But yeah,
upload it and it's a video of them stabbing someone, like I need to know so I can cover it.
yeah, but like, it's still annoying that like only 1 out of 3 of your notification things works.
Yeah, and you know who else I get notifications for all the time, even though I'm pretty sure I unsubscribe, not unsubscribe, but I turned off notifications because I wasn't really watching her videos. No offense, but that I just don't have time to watch YouTube. Aluna Larianova, is that her name? Aluna Larianova, yes. I was watching her for ages, but like recently, okay, you know how much YouTube I watch, right? You are aware of this. I watch a lot of YouTube. In the last few months, because I've been so busy working and also doing college, and before that, working, I have not watched a Jacksepticeye video, a PewDiePie video, a Mac Does It video. I haven't watched a video for my own entertainment in so long. I only watch videos for research for my videos, and that's it. Unless it's like, I don't know, like an actual, like a friend of mine uploads, like if you upload or like another friend or something, I
Yeah,
watch that because that's, I use my free time to watch those things instead of like watching PewDiePie. But it's still like, ah, so it's annoying.
that's so annoying. You need to like, because you're gonna burn out, not just from like working all the time, but like you're also gonna burn out from like your, like if YouTube is your escape from burnout, but now it's also become like your source of research, you're gonna burn out from your relaxation from burnout.
Out of the field. So my microphone has changed apparently. I don't know why. So my
I
audio
couldn't
probably
hear you
sounds
for
like
a
crap
second
right
there.
now. Why is it okay? My microphone has changed to a crap microphone. I'm sorry about this, guys. Well, I think we're nearing the end anyway, but like, what are your unrealistic expectations for the year? And while you talk, I'm going to try and fix my microphone.
I don't think I've like allowed myself to have unrealistic goals for next year. I don't know why. I think it's just because getting to college was my only goal for 2021. No, I wanna see my friends. I definitely want to go to Edinburgh because I've a friend and a cousin and another cousin. Yeah, I have like loads of people to visit in Edinburgh, so at least want to get there. And I want to get to Dumfries to see my aunt and uncle. I want to, even if I can't travel like internationally, I want to at least get to travel around the UK to visit my friends and stuff. And then one of my friends was saying she's got a conference in Brighton in May for her masters, and she was like, "They're gonna pay for the whole thing. Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Yes." I don't know if that's still on, but I want to do that. I just like these little things, like getting to see people. That's my unrealistic goal for 2021. Is I want to see all the people and everyone who has said, "Oh, I'll visit you when you move to Bradford." I want them all to come and visit me because I haven't seen any of them in ages, and I am very alone.
Oh, Megan. Well, if I am in Ireland and there's no pandemic, I will definitely come and visit you. Which is
It's
actually,
$8.99 for flights from Ireland to the Bradford airport.
that's
Come
cheaper than
visit
the
me.
Dart ticket to see you from like town.
Yeah,
What the
I know.
hell?
Like people have no excuses because when I was living in Brno, I was like, it's hella cheap flights, but the flights were to Prague, Vienna, or Bratislava, and then it was like a 2-hour train ride, and the 2-hour train ride was also like hella cheap, but it was an excursion, so no one came to visit me. But now no one's got any excuses. The airport's like just outside the city. It's like a 15-minute taxi drive to the university. No excuses. Yeah, people gotta visit.
I mean, that does bring me to though. I guess it's not entirely unrealistic, but it's like a not sure, like it's kind of out of my control sort of resolution or thing I want to do in 2021, which is to move countries. Hopefully to Ireland. Maybe that won't be the case. It might be somewhere else, but I want to move out of Macedonia anyway. I'm aware that you left the call for a second, Megan, but I kept talking, so it's okay.
pro podcaster. I was going to say pro vlogger, but then I was like, that's not even a thing.
We're not vlogging.
I mean, it is, but what? I don't know.
What do you
My
say?
internet decided to hate me today.
That's okay. It's fine. I just keep talking while you're gone. My other thing is like, okay, this is I have two because while you were talking, I remembered one that I'd completely forgotten about. Do you know the Entitled to Life conference that was supposed to happen this year? It was like a dissociation conference, and it had like
So I hadn't heard the name, but I heard you talk about it.
Yeah, that was supposed to happen this year, and then it was all online, and I went to the online one. But they've announced like the new dates for next year, and it's in September, I think, of next year. And I really want to go to that, so I hope everything is normal. It will be my first time in the States. I've never been to America, but I really want to go for that. And I can kind of argue the fact that like I'm a psychology student and it's a dissociation conference and there's like psychotherapists talking and stuff, so I can be like, it's kind of educational. But if I do go, I would like to try and go for like a little, like at least 2 weeks or something, because it's a very far distance to go, and it's not the East Coast; it's the further away side of America.
Oh yeah.
I think actually, where is it? I think it's in like Seattle or something. I don't know. It's over that.
Grey's Anatomy country.
Yes, it's over that side anyway. I'm not actually sure where exactly it is, but it's over that side. So I want to do that. But my very, very, very big life goal is my goal for 2021. If we get like a vaccine and everything's normal, I want to get my lips done. I've wanted this done for years. I'm doing it. I want it done. I just don't want to get it done while there's a global pandemic. So that seems like not a good time to get
started. Can confirm. They have wanted it done for years. You've spoken about this since you were like 12.
I know. I'm finally going to do it. I'm 23 now. By the time I get it, I'll probably be 24. I want it. I need it in my life. I'm sick of overdrawing my lips so big that they're uneven because I didn't do it correctly.
Looks fine to me, but you're talking through a video camera, so what do I know?
But also, here's the other thing. There's three sadnesses. One, I don't like my lips without makeup. For two, I can only wear dark colors because I have to overdraw them. And if you overdraw with a lighter color, it looks like shit. And three, I can't wear lip gloss. So I'm going to that's my plan. That's my unrealistic plan for 2021. Very vain.
Let us pray for our unrealistic goals.
Yes.
Of me visiting people and you getting your lips. Love it. Perfect.
And the thing is, as far as I know, like, okay, I don't 100% know how much it costs. The thing is, I'm going to say only, and I'm going to sound like a spoiled brat. It's only like 200-ish euro, maybe 300 to get your lips done.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah. The only problem is you do
for a cosmetic procedure. And usually I would have I thought you were going to say like 2,000 there, and I still would have been like, oh, I would have thought it was. No, that's actually the price I would have thought it was. But
so the thing is, like, so you have to get them done. Like, you have to get them topped up. From what I read, so like usually it's you get them done and then you get them done after 6 months again. But then every time you get it after that, it's a longer period in between because you're used to getting
it doesn't like build up
something
too
like
much.
That. Something like that, or I think like your lips just get used to being bigger or something. It wears out slower or something. I don't really know, but that's my plan anyway. And other plans like be a nicer person or something. That's always a goal,
or something.
Something like that. Whatever, something that makes me sound better than I am. I mean, that's always a goal though, is to be nicer. So it's not specifically a next year goal. It's an ongoing. Don't be a dick.
Yeah. No, yeah, because I've been saying to myself, like, I need to start, like, being on myself more, because that's a part of my
your audio is cutting out and it is not sounding good, so I'm going to talk until I can see that you're unfrozen, and then you can start talking. Okay, I think you can start talking now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the whole studying and working out is me trying to, like, set almost a timetable for my free time, because I have a tendency to, like, come home from school and then just, like, start watching, like, Netflix or something for the rest of the day, and then make dinner and then go to bed. Like I feel like I don't need a plan for like when I've got classes. I need a plan for when I'm free to like properly work on myself and like be better at things instead of just like being lazy. Because people are always take time for yourself, and I'm like, all I ever do is take time for myself, and I am thereby not taking time for myself because all my time is time for myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but you know the problem that happens then is that that time that you take for yourself, you don't actually spend it like actually relaxing, because then you're conscious of the fact that you should be doing other things. So it's not actually helpful in the way that time for yourself should be. So once, because I do believe in you, and that you'll start doing all the things. So when you start doing them and then you do take the time to like sit and watch something on Netflix, you'll know that like, hey, this is time that I've actually allotted for this thing, and I've done everything that I need and want to do. Like, it's going to be actually relaxing.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I sit there and I'm like, I called the pharmacy earlier, and I was like, I should do that. I've got to do that. I'll do it after this episode. No, I'll do it after this. And I just, because there's like a 40-minute like episode thing, I just keep putting it off for another episode or another episode. I never do it, but I'm also not relaxing because I'm sitting there like, I've got to do that. I need to remember to do that. I've got to do it. I'm not even actually watching the show because I'm constantly thinking about the fact that I need to call a pharmacy. And it's just like, if I just called them 2 hours ago, I could have enjoyed my 2 hours. It would have taken like 3 seconds. The minute I did call them, I was like, why did I waste 3 hours of my life worrying about that?
Yeah. No, makes sense. But I believe in you. I am manifesting good energy first. I'm going to do some witchy stuff tomorrow to like manifest good energy. I've got all my crystals in a jar of salt in here. So for the people not watching the video, I just tapped my cupboard. All my crystals in a big jar of Himalayan salt. And I had put them in front of the moon the last time there was a full moon. People are listening to this going, she is talking shit. So...
But did I tell you my brother got me a Himalayan salt lamp for Christmas?
No, that's not such a nice present. I stuttered over those words, but that's a lovely present.
It was funny. Apparently his girlfriend saw one and called him and was like, do you want to get this for anyone? And he was like, yeah, my sister, so she bought it for him to, like, he paid her back, obviously. But I was like, that's such a weird thing. But okay. It was funny as well. You mentioned the full moon. Years ago when we were kids, I think we read in a magazine somewhere, one of those like Sabrina, I had like a stack of like Sabrina the Teenage Witch magazines.
God, weird memories.
That had like hairstyle and stuff. But I feel like one of them was saying the first full moon that was going to land on Halloween since like this magazine was published, like the next full moon to land on Halloween would be 2020.
Hey,
and it didn't dawn on me until this year that like after Halloween that it did, and I remembered so vividly reading that in a kid's magazine when I was a kid, and I was like, wow, if you had told me then that I wouldn't care about Halloween at all at 2020 because pandemic, I would have told you to get out and not take my Sabrina Witch magazines with you.
If you had told me then that I would be alive in 2020, I would have said, you're lying. So that... I gotta make it a little bit morbid. Come on, it's been a morbid year. It's okay. I'm alive and I'm coping with it. I was gonna say, and I'm loving it, and then I realized that was a big lie. I'm getting to loving it.
2020.
Nobody is loving 2020. Well, I think on that note, we can both say low-key fuck 2020. I don't know if you heard that song. I think you did. But low-key fuck 2020, and 2021, please don't be as shit. You're going to start off the same because things don't magically change at midnight, but, cut us some slack towards at least the middle of the year. We're tired.
Yeah, give me the vaccine.
Vaccine.
That's my one goal, actually. Scrap everything else. My one goal for 2021, get the vaccine.
You know what? That's a big goal for me as well, because I am terrified of needles. Like anytime I have to get my bloods done or anything, I run. The last time I tried to get my bloods done, they couldn't do it because I started crying and pulling my arm away, and I was in hysterics, and I just left. I couldn't do it.
See, the weird thing is I don't have an issue with needles, except last time I had to get a jab at school, I flinched and the nurse nearly, injected herself. But, I don't. I don't have a fear of needles. Like I wasn't afraid. It was just for some reason out of nowhere, my mind and my body were not connected. My mind was like, "You've done this 100 times before. You don't have an issue with it." My heart was saying that as well, but then my body was like, "No." And I like yanked my arm away, and the nurse was like, "Usually I can see that coming, but you seem so calm." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened there." It was so weird.
Yeah, no, I haven't had anything done. I think the last actual vaccine I had was, I don't know, 14, because I had my BCG really late. Is that what it's called, BCG? That's what the big one you get in here that's really sore.
I have no idea.
I think it's
I just remember the last ones. That sounds familiar. The last ones I got was for cervical cancer.
Yeah, no, see, I got all those done at the same time. So there was like 3 cervical cancer ones. So I got the 2 cervical cancer, the first 2, and then I had my BCG. Everybody else had done it when they were like 5, but I had run out of the office. So I didn't get it. So I was getting it at the same time. And then I got my 3rd cervical cancer one. So I got everything at once.
Yeah.
And that was the last time. So
it was either my cervical cancer one or a booster for my tetanus shot. Either way, one of those was my last one.
I was supposed to get a tetanus shot last year. Yeah, just at the start of the pandemic this year, when I stood on broken glass and it was in my foot for like 3 days. They told me to get a tetanus shot and I went, no. I went there. If I was on my own, I would have left, but I was with 2 other people and they're like, you have to get it. And I was, but I went there and then there were too many people and there were like people vomiting and like they were really sick. It was the, because the tetanus thing was in the same infections area. So it was just horrible. And we were like, hey, let's leave. And so I didn't have to do it. And I didn't get tetanus.
Yeah, maybe I'm an idiot, but I always thought tetanus was for like rust and stuff, not for glass.
I think it is generally, but he said it was just a precaution because I had been there for so long. But like it was unlikely.
It's also probably like, yeah, I think you need a booster every few years anyway. Like, you know, because I'm out of school now, there's no one to like tell you need a booster anymore. So for all I know, I should need a tetanus shot.
I have no idea. Do we need tetanus shots?
Guys, do we need tetanus shots?
Let us know in the comments. Do we need to get tetanus shots? Should we make a whole podcast episode getting shots? Oh my God, you know what we should do?
What?
If the vaccines come out, we should like make a whole thing out of it, like a pre-recorded podcast thing where we get our vaccines to promote good health.
Sure.
Anyway, on that note, unless you have other things you want to say about 2020 or 2021, I think we could probably call it a podcast.
Give me a vaccine. That's all I care about.
Vaccine. Let me cry at a nurse. Let me make her uncomfortable, please.
Vaccine.
I hate that I assumed that the nurse would be a woman. I need to check my biases. Calling myself out because that was bad behavior. Everybody check your biases.
Woo.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CACU Podcast. I remembered and I said it right.
Megan said the name of us different. Everybody, you have to follow us on Instagram and Twitter now because Megan said it correctly. So clearly,
I said it right.
Yes. If you want to also keep up with us in our personal lives, not just podcast-wise, that kind of rhymed, and I'm a little bit proud of that one. You can find Megan on YouTube at Megan McGrath or on social medias at Megan_MCG and you can find me everywhere, YouTube and social media at Vangelina Skov. Yes. That was my podcast voice.
I don't have that.
Who? Never heard of her. What is that? Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast. I hope you all have a wonderful new year and everything.
Yes. I hope everyone's 2021 plans go better than their 2020 plans.
Yes. May all your plans at least semi-come true.
Yeah.
And hopefully
don't go on vacation, idiots. I've been seeing a lot of people going on vacation online. Stop it.
Stop going on vacation. We all want this to end, and it will only end if we all work together. So please stop it. Stop being selfish, but also have a nice new year, but have it socially distanced.
Yeah. Have a safe and happy new year.
Yes. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you in the next podcast when it will be a new year. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.